Hello ladies and gentlemen, Xcentro here and welcome back to another YouTube video. Now in this video we're going to be comparing the casual server in Infinite Flight to the one and only expert server. Now there is a huge contrast between these two servers, as I'm going to show you. Now the reason I'm using a replay file first of all for casual server is basically because I'm recording this during school times and it's really quiet, funny enough, on casual server. So I was flying there earlier and it was, well, it was sort of atrocious, to be fair, when I was there earlier. So that's why I'm showing you here. Now, if you are new here, please do make sure you like and subscribe. It does mean a lot to me. We're going to have to put on the low graphics just to make sure nothing lags out today. But that does not mean the video will be any more boring than the usual boring, of course. So, at the time of recording, runway 27 left and 26 right were the ones you are meant to be using. As you can see, we have an aircraft over here at the wrong end of the runway. In what I believe is an Air Canada CRJ. You know, we're in Europe, so there is no way this aircraft should even be over here. So I'm not too sure what it's doing over there. We're going to have to bring down the ATC volume. I seem to have forgotten to do that. So we're just going to see what this dude does on takeoff, and hopefully he does something sort of exciting. I mean, he's really going for it. I think his spoilers are on, actually. It's just, are his spoilers enabled or not? I couldn't quite tell. No, okay, so his spoilers aren't quite on, but it looked like they were. So we can just zoom it. Oh, he's made it. Okay, so this is what you get on casual server in Infinite Flight. This poor guy can't go straight. Oh my gosh. Okay, so he's airborne. So this guy is now made airborne on casual server. So this isn't even someone I've asked to do this. This was genuine the first thing that happened when I spawned, and the gear hasn't even gone up. So that's not far from being quite diabolical. So we're just going to see what is the next thing to grace our amazing presence on this server. So we got the Emirates A. So again, these were the active runways, 27 left and 27 right. And we've got an Emirates A380 at the other end of the runway with another aircraft landing. So this is going to be very interesting to see what happens here. So we're going to see this dude go onto the runway. I don't think he actually announced takeoff, but he just sort of sat here for quite a bit. I think he actually waited for the TUI aircraft to land, which is the dude over here. So we'll see how well he lands. I don't think he did an awful job, actually, from when I was watching it earlier. I think this is one of the better landings I've seen. I think he's coming in a little bit too high for my liking, and a little bit off centerline. But he's going to land, hopefully, and he is going to make it. So here we go, and touchdown, kabang. So he makes it. A little bit off centre line, but he's in the touchdown zone, so he didn't do an awful job. Okay, so let's see this A3. So first of all, the A3 held short at the right place, and he is at the very end of the runway, which is where you want to be on such an aircraft. Now he has slowly taken off and got off without me there in 15 seconds, but he is going down the runway, and he's rather on centre line. It does appear he waited for the aircraft to leave, but if we zoom in, you can see some more aircraft inbound for landing. They're very faint. I don't know if you would have been able to see him. But hopefully, this guy here on casual server does not mess up too much. Oh, okay. Do you know what? He made it airborne. The guy made it airborne. He used the entire runway, you know, literally every minute. You pay for a runway, you use the whole runway. Fair enough, dude. But he's made it airborne nice and sound. So another example of the casual server we've got here, which makes me laugh. You see here, we got this dude coming in to land here right in front of us using the right runway, worth to note. And this dude, yeah, he's not using the right runway, but they are landing on the same runway, which is a slight cause concern, if you ask me. So here the dude is, just over here, just coming in. It's a little A320. By the looks of that, so we got a little A320 and the British Airways coming in, and so we got an aircraft just taxiing as well. I'm one of them, and he hits the runway, a bit rough, but he does land nevertheless. And then right, okay. I mean, I suppose it's a bit like gravel on the motorways, you know, it slows you down a lot faster, but at least he has cleared the runway for this other dude to come in. So we'll just watch him land, and then we're going to move over to the expert servers, because I'm sure you can tell right now that casual server on Infinite Flight, yeah, it's a different breed really, isn't it? It's like its own thing. So it's a 747 actually, not an A380, and he is pitching up quite a lot there. His gear are out, and he's missed the runway. He has missed. How has he missed the runway? I'm really getting confused about this casual server thing, because like when people meme about casual server, I never really expected it to be this bad. But we're about to go see a lot of sweats now on the expert server. So the airport they're using is SGBR today for Infinite Flight. So SGBR, we'll just head over there. Hopefully we won't get oofed. Yeah, so I'll come back to you guys once I've loaded in. Okay, so we're now in the expert server, and I am back again in a replay file because I figured we'd get a little bit more content for that, okay? So we're at Sao Paulo, I think, which is where today's live ATC is at the day of recording. And it is very busy now. I'm just waiting to see if the aircraft are all actually going to load in for me, or if they're all going to just play hard to get. Because as you can see here, all of the aircraft are just waiting up in queuing. So there's Turkish Airlines, American Airlines, so Iberia. So all of these aircraft are all lining up and waiting patiently in line for their turn. Now, air traffic control is active on tower, ground, ATIS, and many of the other components. And here is our first aircraft to land. You can see he's coming in very smooth. Haven't seen this delivery before, and hopefully, lovely landing there. Great landing. Don't think he quite tail striked, but again, that was a great landing. And you can see here how patient and well behaved all of these aircraft here are on the expert server in Infinite Flight. Go from the LATAM aircraft here to another LATAM. There's Air Canada. So there are quite a few long haul aircraft here. Now, a big considerable difference you'll notice with expert server is people are realistic. There are no Air Canada CRJs just lying about. Copa America there though. So we're going to see who else is next in on landing. His ATC is much more professional here, and they handle it much more better. So we'll just zoom forward again a little bit. I think we might have missed the landing. However, we do have two active runways as well on this version on expert server. So we just got that final guy just coming in to land, and you can actually see on the map how gosh busy it is, and that's me there just hitting a Spitfire. So we're gonna, hopefully this guy's gonna pop up on our screen the last minute so we can swoop in and get some epic photos. Potentially not by the looks of that. Oh, so he should. There he is. So this is our final guy coming in to land. Again, a private jet livery there. Don't see that being used very often. And bang. Maybe not a flare, but he definitely hit the runway. And what you'll notice is that all of the aircraft do hit the runway. Now, I do believe the Air Canada should be taken off next. So there we go, as he would have been instructed by ATC. And our guy just slowly strolls onto the runway. So we will be watching him take off. Hopefully he'll get told to expedite, and he will just go straight for it. Beautiful 777 300 ER by the looks of this one. A lovely aircraft of the 777s. So you can see the aircraft rolls down the runway on the centre line very well, unlike the aircraft we just saw on the casual server. How funny was that? So it's worth noting, to get to the quality of this in Infinite Flight, not only do you have to have played for a fair amount of time, you need to have an idea what you're doing. So he has rotated at a decent time, no worry there, and the gear should now be coming up very shortly, or hopefully. There we go. So that is the gear there coming up. Now again, this guy would have landed on the other runway. Unfortunately, his spoilers are still up. They shouldn't be up anymore now he's landed, so hopefully he will sort them out. Now what's the next thing to be going on? We have another aircraft landing, and just look at the map. Look at all of these aircraft following patterns. Everyone's using the indicated runway, and ATC have done a great job here at knowing what they're doing, to be keeping control of all of the aircraft in this airspace. So we're going to filter, or we're going to get rid. I've accidentally got details for one of these aircraft, which isn't exactly what I wanted to do. So maybe if I close and open map. Nope. No idea what I've done there. Not a clue. There we go, just clear our filters. So there you go. So you can see how much control ATC has over all of these aircraft. Now, if we just skip towards the end of the replay, what I actually had, which is what I want to show you guys, was a parallel landing. Now, unfortunately, you can see here, there was a slight issue where there's too many aircraft, but that again all got sorted, and there were so many more aircraft within this flight simulator, people flying. So, we'll come back again around here to the terminals, and hopefully all the aircraft will load back up for us. But you can just see how much more realistic this flight simulator server is. So we've got the expert server, how much better it is. Okay, unfortunately, unfortunately his strobes are on. They shouldn't be on whilst waiting to taxi. But this guy, a much better reputation, hopefully. Yeah, so this guy's banged it pretty much. No strobes are on. There's just his beacon light and probably the nav light on his interior cockpit. Again, you can just see how much better the pilots are on this server. We got the A350 probably heading off to Istanbul. They're about to take off quite realistically, so we'll just see how good this takeoff is as well. So he should be rolling down the runway now. So again, this aircraft moving. Again, he's not at full throttle. He's got all his lights on that are required, except from the landing light. That might be a bug. I'd like to imagine the landing lights are on. But he is going for it again. Again, not 100% throttle, as you should not ever be at 100% throttle on takeoff unless it's urgent. He has drifted a little bit, unfortunately. That might have been to do with the lights or something, because I do believe it. But now he's going much faster, and the aircraft will eventually rotate in just a little second. That we'll all see. You can see there all of the other aircraft are just slowly taxiing at, you know, decent speeds for the expert server. Now this server is much more realistic than many of the other in-flight flight servers, even though that takeoff was starting to go the wrong way, but we did not see that, thankfully. And you can see the aircraft here at the gates are all in the right size. I'd never seen that ever used in a very long time here. We've got the Air France livery, the SAS livery, what's that, the Vietnam, the American. So you can see that all pilots as well are using the pushback and the gates very respectively and the right way they should be using them, which is something you love to see in an expert server. Now, if you do agree with me and you found this video, you know, agreeable that the difference in competence between these two levels is massive, just let me know if you're agreeing. But that was casual server versus the expert server in Infinite Flight. Maybe we'll compare them both to training server in the near future. But if you did enjoy this video, please make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Good night.